بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل.
In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, man was created, a male and a female, and the peoples were created. Peace on Abraham, peace on Ishmael, peace on Jacob, peace on the prophets, peace on Muhammad, peace on all the prophets. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of the faiths of the world, we bring you greetings, greetings of freedom, greetings of love and fondness, greetings from God who loves His entire creation. The Lord, blessed be He, created human beings and placed in their souls the faculty of reason and gave to each human being the right to seek their life and happiness and fulfillment. In every human soul, there's the seed of God's mercy, and God, the all-powerful, the generous, is present in every human being's conscience. Every human being seeks dignity and freedom. God is sublime, and every human being seeks to raise himself or herself to God. And therefore, in the conscience of every human being, we see the reflections of God's words, God's names, and God's nature. Dignity was given to human beings by God, one of His greatest attributes. And there can be no dignity without freedom. All of the goods stem from freedom. And God entrusted His words and His names to us through the pious men, His messengers, His saints who call other men on the path to the Lord, reminding them of the words and God's names that they keep in their conscience. We were honored by God with this great message. We could perhaps see greater opportunities in our times to appeal to human beings to return to their conscience and to strive in all ways to preserve their dignity and to eradicate from human reality today the roots of evil and the sources of corruption. We must remind all human beings of our calling to love one another for the good of humanity. The relationship of God with His creation is one. No human being is closer to the Lord, and the way to the Lord is through good deeds and the conscience and fearing God. Every human being is a creature of God, and therefore, as is the environment, and therefore corrupting the environment or distances man from God. There is a failure to understand religion due to ignorance, which has divided human beings. And the faithful and those who believe in God often experience walls between them, even between people of the same faith. But the only religion is God's religion, and He makes no distinctions between faiths and creeds or faith communities. The barriers have served to weaken the influence of religion on humankind. Today, we are called upon to make greater efforts to overcome these barriers. And all together work in God's religion for the good of humanity, for every human being, at all times and all places. And we, faith leaders of the different faiths and creeds of the world, must work together that the meaning of God and His names be better understood by human beings, and that human beings respond to their calling to live a better life, a life of peace. The path to integration and cooperation is before us, and we must work together, united, to free human beings from injustice and slavery in all its forms and all its manifestations. Just as we stand against disease and warfare and the spread of weapons of mass destruction, in the same way we see the huge gap between the countries of the north and the south of the world. We see the destruction of the environment before our eyes. We know that religion can lead us to God, and therefore the religious leaders and the faithful behind them now must rise up to their duty. And we trust that God's hand will be behind them, and that with this, these noble and lofty objectives may be reached, thereby securing a better life for all members of humankind. Those who stand by God will be supported by God. And to conclude, therefore, a few words to call us all to work together to save humanity from violence and discrimination. May our appeal be addressed to God and not to our own particular religion or ethnic group. I invite us all to work for an integration of our civilizations based on love. Some spoke of the clash of civilizations, others have spoken of dialogue among civilizations. I call for an integration of civilizations, with one completing the other. And I invite the faith leaders to undertake bold initiatives to help free humanity from poverty and disease, from the arms race, destruction of the environment, and all forms of slavery. I call for the formation of an initiative that could take the shape of an organization such as UNESCO or other international organizations, an international organization having as its main objective that of eradicating slavery in all its forms and repressing those who exploit human slavery. I call upon God to give this assembly His blessing, and I join my voice to those who have called for this. May this be a step towards a better life for humankind. Thank you.